Heidi ho, neighbors. Rado Goji here.
I'm Soylent Greg.
And welcome to the Squeeze the World podcast for...
what day is today?
Today is Thursday, January 10th, 2019.
Happy New Year,
And
incidentally.
This should be going up on Saturday as usual. Hopefully I can keep with that. We're at a slightly different angle because...
Yeah.
Patrick
is sitting in his gamer chair that he got for Christmas.
Chair.
We decided to showcase the gamer chair.
Ish.
Like every other YouTube celebrity these days, we have a fancy gamer chair. Take that, Ninja.
Yep. Who's Ninja?
The most popular Fortnite streamer.
That's probably why I've never heard of him.
That's probably why. That's how in touch with the latest video game popular culture you are.
Yeah. Not too much as far as news really happened all that much.
It's been a slow news week.
All
the interesting stuff happened while we were gone, unfortunately.
I didn't really even notice a lot of stuff happening then.
I'm sure you have already gotten your news from elsewhere.
Yeah. But in the meantime, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, what have you been playing this week? Okay,
or
so...
the past couple weeks, maybe.
So it's been a couple weeks, but I have already beaten 2 video games so far this year in 2019. The first one is Marvel's Spider-Man. I won't talk too much about it because I've talked about it already, but it's very good. The ending, definitely they're setting up for a sequel with more Spider events and Spider villains. And it's going to be Spider Fantastic. So.
I haven't played Spider-Man yet.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a really good game. The other game that I beat is called Celeste. It was one of the games that was nominated for Game of the Year. I purchased it in the Christmas sale on the PlayStation store, even though it was not actually on sale or whatever. I beat it, but by beat it, that basically means like I've beaten the light world in...
You got the ending.
Yeah, I got the ending. I've beaten the light world in Super Meat Boy. I saw the credits. It was really good. It's definitely up there in the pantheon of super hard platformers like Super Meat Boy, VVVVVV, N++. All those, if you know me, you know that that's some of my favorite genre of games. And it certainly doesn't disappoint on that front. The one thing about it, I almost, like, this isn't necessarily a flaw with the game. It might be a flaw with me, honestly. But the thing that Celeste gets praised for a lot is its story. It's about this sort of troubled young woman named Marguerite, but you can customize her name, who decides that she needs to climb to the top of Celeste Mountain, which is an actual mountain in Canada. I didn't even know that until I had beaten the game. I just thought there were Canadian flags all over the place because the dev team was Canadian or something. And it deals with, like, real-world shit, like depression and panic attacks.
It's a thing that, I mean... I'm fairly sure it's something that I have, but it's something that like every game has nowadays.
As somebody who suffers from panic attacks, I definitely connected in some aspect with that. But I kind of felt like story-wise, and again, this is not necessarily this might not even be the game's fault, but I felt like the emotional register that it was trying to reach kind of exceeded its grasp a little bit. And it's weird because I'm the sort of person who usually does connect with, like, emotional moments in games, like Undertale or Nier Automata. But I just didn't really feel it this time, and it might just be me, but it might just be the type of game that it is. It's not an RPG, it's an ultra-hard platformer, so maybe I was just like, okay, this is great, let's get back to more really hard, dashing and wall-jumping levels. But that was me. I definitely liked it. It definitely deserved to be nominated for Game of the Year. It was really good. But yeah. Patrick, what have you been playing this week?
Well, the past couple of weeks, I guess.
The past 2 weeks. Sorry.
I did beat Bayonetta 2 on New Year's Day.
Whoop. Whoop, whoop. I did the wrong hand. Sorry.
You do that all the time.
I do.
Always wrong hand.
It's left hand.
This
time.
I beat Bayonetta 2, and then I played a couple other games, I think. Oh yeah, I did. I played through Wind Waker on the Wii U. I don't count that as a clear because I've beaten Wind Waker before, but I still cleared.
Did they change anything?
They changed a few mechanical things, but like the story's exactly the same.
See, that counts. That counts. I plan on counting Dark Souls 2 scholar of the First Sin, even though I've beaten Dark Souls 2 because they shifted a bunch of enemies and items and stuff around.
Yeah.
And changed some game mechanics.
While I was at MagFest, I started playing Donkey Kong Country Returns on the 3DS. And it is a good game, it's just not for me. I don't know why I like the first two Donkey Kong Country games a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why I was just having so much trouble with Returns. Because it seemed like I was spending all of my little banana coins, I was spending them on extra lives. And it seemed like I was spending like 20 or 30 lives to get through a level.
That's pretty severe.
And I'm playing on the what's supposed to be the easier difficulty.
That's interesting.
That was made for the 3DS, and I got to like the last world before the ending, and I'm just like I can't do this anymore.
That's odd because I haven't heard anything about it being a particularly like high difficulty game. So I wonder if there's something wrong with the frame rate or.
No, I think it's because I think it is. It was meant to be kind of hard because the original Donkey Kong Country games were hard. When Returns was first released, it was like in the late noughties, early 2010s, where there was that slight boom of, oh, let's take these old game series and make newer entries in them, like they did that with Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Mega Man 9, right. Donkey New Super Mario Bros. Was a thing.
There was definitely an everything old is new again type thing there for a while.
And that's what they were going for with that, and I think they were trying to bring back a lot of that difficulty from because Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 are hard games.
This is true.
They're not. I mean, at points they can be severely hard, but like. I don't know, maybe it was because I was using save states when I played the SNES ones.
Slip slide ride. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. But
that old shit level caught in my throat.
I just couldn't. I didn't want to. So I stopped playing that, and I did start playing Yoshi's Island.
Ooh.
It's the Game Boy Advance version on my 3DS, but it's still the same game as far as I can tell. And I'm having a lot more fun with that. That's a good fun game that I haven't really played before, so
cool.
There's that. But
you haven't played it before?
Not to this extent, no.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
There's a lot of games I haven't played before.
I beat it when I was a kid.
I know, but I didn't have a Super Nintendo when I was a kid.
That's fair. Not everybody had a Super Nintendo when they were a kid, and that's why you can buy the SNES Classic right now.
It has Yoshi's Island on it.
Hurry before it's gone, and you can flash it and put other games on it. Apparently, I haven't done that, but
yeah, I was at MagFest last weekend.
Tell us about MagFest, Patrick.
That was pretty fun.
MagFest! I have a whole shit ton of friends who were at MagFest, apparently.
Really?
Like half my... It might have been selection bias, but it sure felt like half my damn friends list was at MagFest.
Oh.
On Facebook. Sorry, half my Facebook friends list was at MagFest.
Yeah. There really wasn't a whole lot as far as like panels went that I was really interested in, so I didn't really see it. I mean, that's usually how it is. Like, I'm not really interested in a lot of the panel stuff or Q&As with things, but I played a lot of stuff in like the arcade and console rooms. I saw that they have this mega, like how they call it, Mega Man-a-thon.
Mega Man-a-thon?
Yeah, it was basically like the entire time that that MagFest was going on. There was just like a bunch of like streamers and Let's Players who were playing different Mega Man games as well as other games in here, here and there too. One of the points I was watching, they were playing Azure Striker Gunvolt. There's one point they were playing the Bloodstained game, Curse of the Moon.
Oh, okay.
They actually played Link's Awakening at one point.
Did they have that band at MagFest? The one that I cannot remember their name for the life of me. I'm gonna remember later, and I'll probably put it in the comments. The band that does they have somebody play the game up on like a screen.
I know who you're talking about.
The game because I've seen video of them doing that with Mega Man 2, and it's fucking awesome.
I've seen them do that with a couple of games, but no, I don't know. I didn't see any of the little concerts or anything.
I forget what the hell their name is. I'm really sorry.
But I can't
think of it.
I know who you're talking about, though. I've seen the videos of them. But of course, it wouldn't have been a convention without
the mini bosses.
Maybe
Was that their name?
I think I'm
not sure.
I don't know. But of course,
if you know, like, comment, and subscribe in the comments. Right there, where my penis would be if you were here.
Please don't say penis.
You said it! You said it yourself!
I heard it!
I learned it from watching you, Dad! I learned it from watching you!
But of course, it would not have been a convention if I didn't pick some stuff up.
Hell yeah!
So I'm going to show off. I got a couple of things. First off,
now, I know one thing that you bought, but I don't know the rest of it. So I'm learning this at the same time that you are.
I bought Mother 3 on the Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
It's a boxed copy with everything in it. I mean, I would have been happy with just a cartridge. The main reason I bought this was so that I could play it, emulate it, and not feel bad, basically.
Or you could just be like me and play it emulated and just not feel bad. Although I have not played Mother 3. I need to beat Earthbound first.
Well, but there's also the first game, too, which is available on the Wii U, of all things.
Wow, okay.
You can download that on there.
Oh, yeah, it's called Earthbound Origins or
Beginnings.
something. Beginnings. Thank you. That's a synonym.
But I would have been...
I was close.
I would have been happy with just getting the cartridge on its own, but this is the only way that they had it, and it was like $80. But I also got cartridge base. I got Seiken Densetsu 3, which is the sequel to Secret of Mana, and I've never played this. And I have a ROM of that as well, so I'll get into that at some point.
Densetsu 3.
Yeah.
Nice! Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's a Super Famicom cartridge.
It is.
That is baller.
I was going to get a cartridge of Live Alive that they had there too, but the first day I didn't have a lot of money in my bank account, and I had a bunch of cash, and I really didn't have enough to get it at the time, and then like the next day it was gone.
Secret of Mana, that's another game I need to play.
See,
that's a game that I haven't beaten.
And also, I got a few promotional Nintendo items because there was a guy from Nintendo who had a...
was it Reggie?
It was not Reggie.
Was it Reggie in a mask?
It was not Reggie in a mask.
Was it evil Reggie with a mustache?
No.
That would be Eager. Eager.
But yeah, there was a guy who had the PR guy from Nintendo, I guess, who had a table set up with a couple of switches, and you could play they had Smash Brothers and the port of New Mario U on the Switch, and there were free things that you could just take if you wanted, but if you played either game for a couple of minutes, you could get special prizes as well. Ooh. So I got the free things I got were this pencil set.
Nice.
They got Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and Bowser.
I love it.
And an eraser. It's shaped like a star.
Oh.
And
oh shit.
My friend Andrew and I played a round of Smash Brothers, and I was able to get this cool looking Samus keychain.
Oh fuck. Oh,
it looks like the sprite from Metroid 2.
Yeah. That is cool as hell. Yeah, that's straight up Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Yep.
This is Metroid Samus Returns is on the back. So yeah, that's where that comes from.
That's pretty awesome stuff. But
that's badass.
Wish I could have gotten more, but I didn't really see much else that I wanted, and I could not find for the life of me. I was also looking for a cartridge of Terranigma that wasn't like a reproduction or something like that, and I could not find one.
Those are pretty rare.
No, I mean I can find them on. I can find a European version on eBay.
I was going to say because they're PAL cartridges.
I could find one for $20 though. I found a couple of them on eBay for $20.
Nice. Are they repros though?
No, they seem to be. They seem to be.
Seem to be.
I don't know about because it's on eBay, but they seem to be legitimate copies of them.
So, that's another game I need to play.
Is Terranigma.
I've heard it's good.
Well, you wanted to play the whole Quintet trilogy, didn't you?
Yes, I would love to play the whole Quintet trilogy on our channel someday.
Yeah, if I can get that, and if I can get Soul Blazer, then we'll be all set.
That would be wonderful. I mean, we could do it on an emulator. I mean, we have multiple devices that will run Super Nintendo emulators.
Yeah. Like my computer, I think. I can get an emulator for that.
Oh, yeah, you're running Mint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got ZSNES and SNES 9X.
Yep.
I have both of those on my Linux box. We use Linux here on this here podcast. We are
I thought you still use Windows a little bit.
I dual boot. Yeah, I have Windows for some stuff, but for the most part I use Linux unless I need to use Windows for some program.
I usually don't have a reason to use Windows.
Mint XFCE. It's pretty.
So, seeing as there really isn't much as far as news goes, At least, I don't know if there was anything that you want to talk about in
Not
particular.
particularly. I mean, there's a couple things that happened I can just note. I don't really have much to say about them. Awesome Games Done Quick is a thing that's happening right now, so if you are interested in streamers playing video games very quickly,
then why the hell are you watching us?
For a charity, you can go on Twitch right now. It's probably still going on by the time this is up. It's always a hoot. I'm hoping that they do. I don't know what the schedule is or anything like that. If they do like a Zelda randomizer or an Undertale run, I will probably watch it later because all the good ones will be up on YouTube. Other thing, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds banned a whole bunch of people for using an exploit that allowed them to exploit more of a hack that allowed them to see on a second monitor by scanning their incoming packets where other players were on the game's map. About 30,000 people got banned, including some of the game's top players and some of the game's larger Twitch streamers. Oops, that's funny. I don't really have anything to say about it. And one of my favorite games of recent years, Alien Isolation, the excellent horror stealth sneaking around punching androids game, is finally getting a sort of sequel, but it's a shitty fucking mobile game. We have phones though, right?
We have phones.
We have phones, but
sure.
I'm not going to play the shitty mobile game. I don't know what kind of game it's going to be. Maybe it's a hidden object game where you look at objects and the xenomorph goes blah. Maybe it's Five Nights at Nostromo's. I don't know.
Five Nights at Ashes.
You know what? I actually would kind of like that. If it's the crew, but you're in Mother or whatever, and you have to like manage the systems and like keep the alien from getting to you. That could actually be fun.
Five Nights at Weyland's.
Yes. Yes. Five Nights at if we want to do Alien Isolation, Five Nights at Sevastopol.
Yeah. And you can play as Ripley, or you can play as
that'd be fun.
As Captain Tom Skerritt. Dallas. That'd be
fun. Yeah. You could get panicked phone calls from the rest of the crew.
You get panicked phone calls from Bill Paxton.
Yes.
Was it Private
This
Hudson?
is a wonderful idea. Wait a minute. Hold the presses. Cancel the phone game. We have a much better phone game for you. We need Bill Paxton. That just hit me. We need Bill Paxton. We need
voice clips.
Voice clips of Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
We need the guy who made somebody who makes Five Nights at Freddy's clones, and a whole bunch of time and money. That would actually be fun. But I'm sure that the actual game is going to suck and have microtransactions and be terrible.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, rest in peace, Bill Paxton, and rest in peace, Alien franchise.
Yeah.
In video game form.
I guess I did see, just kind of briefly skim through this funny article. I think I saw it either yesterday or today where apparently there was like some like fireman simulator game on Steam that was going that just to try to get people to buy it was going by the name Half-Life 2 Plus, and also Star Citizen's not out yet.
Why would you buy it? Okay, well, Star Citizen, yes, but why would you even buy Half-Life 2 Plus? Like, what is special about Half-Life 2 Plus?
Well, it's not Half-Life 2 at all.
Well, no, I know, but like, how is I could understand if they named it Half-Life 3.
Well,
because people desperately want Half-Life 3. I don't know why people want Half-Life 3.
They're probably trying to trick people into at least clicking on it to look at it because it's like, oh, this might be Half-Life 2 with extra stuff.
Yeah, extra stuff. It's got a wallpaper from 2003.
It's just the G-Man's face.
Is it really that time, Mr. Freeman? That time to be ripped off again? Oh, boy. But yeah, Star Citizen, not out.
Yeah. So since we just went through all of what little news we were able to scrounge up, I was also able to kind of just half-ass together a little feature.
Ooh, a feature.
So that we can just kind of fill out the time and actually have like a full episode.
We're not supposed to admit that we're filling time.
It's okay. So yeah, with me picking up new games and whatnot, I'm just trying to segue into this backlogs.
Backlogs.
So if you're like a lot of people, you know, the when you come around. Hold on.
How do
I'm
I
gonna edit some of this?
It's like an infomercial. It's like me in black and white. I just can't hold all these games. Damn it! There has to be a better way. Introducing backlog.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the beginning of the year, and you know, a lot of people do you know, use this time to like think of those bullshit New Year's resolutions and whatnot. Like,
fuck that noise.
I want to lose weight, or I want to stop smoking, or I want to lose weight because
I want to smoke my weight.
Those are the only ones I
want to
think of
make beef jerky from my
actually
own fat.
But you know, it is also a good time to just kind of refresh, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I spent some time cleaning up my entire living space up here after I got it back from MagFest. I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who have like a shit ton of games that they haven't played yet, but they keep buying a shit ton more games because new games keep coming out, and that's where the dreaded backlog comes in. So, considering that, I mean, the past couple of years, I've been basically plugging away at my backlog endeavor. I've probably played more games in the past 2 years than I think that I've played through in my entire life. So I think that I'm qualified enough to give you tips and tricks on how to get through that pesky backlog. Take notes, Greg. I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of threw this together in like 10 minutes here. But yeah, I got some tips here. Just some stuff. Some of the stuff I just kind of discovered on my own while doing this sort of thing. I've also sourced some of these tips from other lists on the internet.
The backlog management guru. I like it. I like that idea.
Okay, so first off,
be your backlog management guru.
First off, so basically I put them under environmental sort of thing.
Sorry, I keep doing that, guys.
Basically, the kind of sort of situations. I don't know what the word is, but when you're actually playing the games, like make sure you set aside enough leisure time. Obviously,
yeah, of course.
Make sure things are. More important things are taken care of before you do that.
Make sure you're not playing a game while holding a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. So that's a multitask if possible. By that I mean, I usually, based because of the way I work, I like to have background noise when I play games. So I usually we'll also use that time to catch up on YouTube and watch shows if you can do that. I also, as a result, play a lot of portable systems to help out with that.
You are a big fan of portable systems.
And also semi-portable systems like the Wii U.
The Switch.
Or the Switch. Or if if you're actually using the TV for your console, if you're playing like a PS4 or something like that. Or, I mean, PS4 you can do remote play, really. But like some older systems are like an Xbox One. You can play Netflix on your phone or whatever. So if that helps out, that works too. Also, I found something I've found helps sort of talking with friends while doing it. So if you're in like a PSN party or something like that, I don't know. It just kind of it helps focus a bit.
That's fair.
With clearing the game.
I can't. That one doesn't really work for me. The only time I'm ever in a PSN party is if I'm playing a game with people. If I'm playing like Dead by Daylight,
fair enough.
Essentially,
and
I'm using it to communicate and outwit the killer and be a dick.
I mean, in all honesty, that first kind of thing was just kind of inconsequential.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Probably the most important aspect of the whole backlog thing is planning it. Planning. I have found that using a backlog tool of some sort works. There are backlog tools on the internet. I personally use howlongtobeat.com. It's primarily a site where people pool together information on how long it takes them to beat games, and they show average times and whatnot.
It's an excellent website, incidentally, if you've never used it. It will show you the average amount of time to beat the game, to beat the game, to beat the game with a reasonable amount of side content done, and to be a complete completionist in 100% the game. And it will show you how accurate those are based on how many people put it in. It's fantastic. I use it to determine which of my games I can plow through the fastest. Yeah, and they can... Yeah, so there's that. But it also has a backlog tool on there, so you can input your backlog. You can keep track of what games you've beaten, what games you obviously all have yet to beat. It's basically kind of like Goodreads,
for games, because there's even a place where you can do reviews when you're done. There's a little review spot.
I use Goodreads. It's an excellent. It's an okay site. It has some problems, but
it's basically the same sort of thing. I also use Excel spreadsheets.
Okay.
I have an Excel spreadsheet on my work computer, and I like color code all the games by system and stuff like that. And I found that really helps me as well. Also, splitting the list into smaller lists. Like basically kind of chopping them into categories. I've in different situations, I've done things like separating them between action games and RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I found that's helped out a bit. I have kind of like a dual thing going on where when I'm at home, there's like a particular primary game that I'm playing. But if it's on like a home console and I can't bring it with me to work or something like that, so if I'm at work and I'm on my lunch break, I'll have like a second portable game that I can play to help out with that.
excellent.
Currently, I'm going into a short list that I have called System Purge, where I have
System Purge.
I have all of these like.
Are you fighting the Omega virus?
Is that?
Help me! Ha ha ha! You human scum!
There's kind of older consoles that have maybe like a handful of games on there that
Stop texting me in the podcast.
That I'm planning on just kind of putting away when I'm done with those systems. So like my Wii U, PS3, N64, and just I'm doing those like by a system at a time. So that splits it up even more. Also important, don't feel like you need to buy every new game immediately.
This is true. This is one I would say as well, because even when you see the game on PlayStation Network and it's like, damn, that's a good sale, I should pick up on that. If you're going to buy the game and you're not going to play it for 6 months, it's probably going to go on sale again during those 6 months, and it's probably going to go on sale even cheaper.
Now, I'm fairly sure that if it's like an older game, it might be a little bit harder to find later on. Like the only games that I
anything that's older than this console generation.
Like I'll still get games if it's a game that I'm super excited about and I really want to play as soon as it comes out, like Dragon Quest Builders
Day
2.
one, yeah,
Day one stuff.
Pretty much anything that's from the Dark Souls devs or from Atlas.
Yeah,
pretty much.
There you go. Or if there's like I'll even buy games and just kind of put them in the backlog. If there's like a collector's edition, if it's a physical game that I don't think is going to be easy to find later on. But in this day and age, with new games that come out, they're also going to be available digitally. And I know that a lot of people are sticklers for having physical copies of everything over digital, and I know that there are reasons for that, but if push comes to shove, you can always get it digitally later. It's not like it's going to necessarily go away.
This is true. Anything from this console generation, anything from the previous console generation is generally going to be available digital. Now, there are some exceptions to that. There are problems where something because of licensed music or like that is taken down.
That's true.
Fudge. There was just a game that happened to that was on Steam that I was like, I can't remember what it was. But there have been numerous games that have suffered that fate. This wasn't it, but I just remembered a different one. Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego The Hobbit have been taken down digitally due to some sort of rights issue involving New Line Cinema. In that instance, that's probably going to be fixed, and that's probably going to go back up at some point. But right now, if you wanted to play Lego Lord of the Rings and you can't find a physical copy, you couldn't buy it digitally.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's a fringe case.
Those situations are very few and far between.
Yeah.
So just
sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, that's a good point. But just in general, just don't feel like you need to buy every new game because it'll just get tacked onto your backlog anyway.
It will crush you.
Now, when actually playing the games, usually if you have a lot of games, you're going to want to try to get through them quicker. And sometimes it does help to put your pride aside and play in easy mode. It will make it a lot less frustrating on you.
This is true.
I usually do it for brevity nowadays. And if a game... If it's a game that you haven't played before and you find out you really like this game and want to play it again later, you can play it on the higher difficulties later.
Can I add to this?
Sure.
Definitely with the pride, it doesn't necessarily... I mean, we, as gamers, tend to sort of almost fetishize the idea of being a true gamer and being good at video games as opposed to, you know, terrible game journalists or things of that nature. But there are some games that honestly, like even me, I play extremely difficult shit like Super Meat Boy and have trophies in Super Meat Boy that 0.1% of people have. But there are some games that I just cannot play on harder difficulties. First-person shooters, like, what was it? What was the first new Wolfenstein? Wolfenstein, The New Order?
The New Order. Was it The New Order or The New Colossus?
The New Colossus was the second one.
It was The New Order, yeah.
The New Order, I had to play that game on an easier difficulty because I freaking sucked at it. It doesn't make you necessarily a bad gamer. There's just some games where the difficulty is different than what you're used to. There's some things, I play Dark Souls. There's some things where, in terms of difficulty, I don't have a problem, and there's some things that I do. And for me, being accurate, being having a quick reaction time when something is in first person is not something that I'm great at. So if I'm playing Doom or the new Wolfenstein or something else that's a first-person game, I'll often turn the difficulty down.
Yeah.
Also, The Witcher. Put The Witcher on whatever fucking difficulty you want. Don't let anybody who tells you, you have to play it on Death March. That's how the game was designed. Fuck that. Put it on easy. Heal back to full health between every battle. Just, it's... The combat is the worst part of the game anyway, so just play it however you want.
Enjoy the story.
Yeah, just enjoy Geralt's horny adventures.
Kind of I don't know if this is really a tip or not, but depending on how you would define beating the game, don't necessarily feel that you have to 100% every game. The way that at least I've been doing it, I've been counting basically reaching the credits for the most part. With few exceptions, reaching the credits is pretty much me beating the game.
Yeah.
And I can just move on to the next thing. But
I have something to add to this one when you're done.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, like, I do plan on going back to some games. Like, I know there's, like, a whole bunch left in Dragon Quest XI I haven't done. There's, like, a whole lot of post-game stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. But I consider having, completed Dragon Quest XI once I beat that boss. I don't remember his name, but I don't want to spoil it anyway.
But big spoiler bar pops over the thing.
What did you want to add, Greg?
You should spoiler it and be like, the final boss, the Dallas Cowboys. I blame achievements for this. Achievements and trophies, because for most games, to get all of the trophies, to get all the achievements, you have to 100% it, get all the collectibles and shit. I always think about it like this. Like, remember when you were a kid and you would beat a video game? Like, when I was a kid, I never collected all the collectibles in anything. Except Mario 64. I got all the stars in Mario 64. But, like, think about, like, Symphony of the Night, fully mapping out the castle, all that stuff. There were tons of these, and when we were kids, nobody collected all this shit. Nobody 100%ed those games unless they were just absolutely in love with them. So, but now, everybody can see to what extent you've 100%ed the game. Everybody can see that I got this when I played Persona 5. I haven't beaten Persona 5, but I was sort of paralyzed by this, like, okay, do I just sit down and play this game for fun, or do I, like, go through and do, like, the optimum thing to get most of the achievements? Because I don't want, almost as much as I don't want to have not beaten it, I don't want to have, like, the absolute minimum number of, like, achievements you can get beating the game, because then everybody will think I just rushed through it, or I didn't see all the content, I didn't experience it, fully, and then you get sort of like this awful fucking choice paralysis where I'm tempted to, like, look at a guide through my first time through the game,
but here's the thing,
sucks.
It's not like you can't play through the game again.
But Persona 5 is like 70 hours long. If we're talking about a game that's like Marvel Spider-Man length, where it's like 12 to 15 hours long just to beat the main quest, then sure. But when you're talking about Persona 5 or Dragon Quest XI or a game that gets to be that length, You're talking about investing a lot of hours into playing it multiple times.
Yeah, but if you like the game enough, you'll probably want to do it anyway.
That's fair.
I mean, when you get to the point where you finished your backlog and you don't have any new games to play, well, then you can play Persona 5 again. And probably the most tip-top important pro tip, Rado Goji pro tip for completing your backlog is have fun.
Have fun.
Not just to the extent of, have a good time playing your games, and you will see through to the end. Also, don't let yourself get too frustrated. If you feel
very important,
like I was talking about Donkey Kong Country earlier, if you feel like you're not having fun with the game anymore, don't feel bad about just dropping it and getting rid of it if you want to. I mean, if you don't feel like playing the game, take it out of your backlog.
If you're watching, think about it like this. If you're watching a movie on Netflix and you get 30 minutes into the movie and the movie fucking sucks, you don't have to watch the movie all the way to the end. It sucks.
Yeah.
Stop watching the movie.
And if you see the final part of the drunk Mega Man X2 playthrough, you'll basically see me at a point where I'm super frustrated and I probably should have turned the game off. But
Probably.
I still need to put that up. But yeah. That's my
list.
That's my list of backlog tips. So
that's useful.
Hopefully that'll help you guys out if you have a super long backlog endeavor like I do. I still have like 130 games left in mine.
I haven't counted.
So
I tend to be really bad about at the end of the year because I will do a thing like I did this in whatever the year Resident Evil 7 came out, where I was
last year.
I'm gonna get.
Was that last year or the year before?
Year before. I'm going to get all these games in like the Christmas sale. I'm going to get all this stuff when it's cheap. And then next year, I'm not going to buy shit. Like I even did it this year. I got Street Fighter and Monster Hunter World in the sale, and I'm like, oh, I got all this stuff. And then you end up just buying shit when it comes out anyway. Yeah. I'm super excited. I mean, it was Resident Evil that time. It'll probably be Resident Evil again. Incidentally, by the time you see this, the Resident Evil 2 demo will be up. Resident Evil 2 demo on Friday!
The one that you can only play for a half hour and then that's it forever?
Whatever. It's going to be a fun half hour, hopefully.
Alright.
I think if you complete it, you get to play it more. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. Let me know how that goes.
I will.
Alright.
Maybe.
So I guess that's it for the podcast
Excellent.
this week. Well, actually came in under an hour this
time
around.
You get a quick episode this time.
That's okay.
For your morning commute earlobe needs.
Yep, so until next week, I've been Rado Goji.
And I'm Soylent Greg.
And we'll be here next time. Join us, won't you?